should have some contacts on.
Do you want to put contacts on? We're live now.
Got my glasses on.
I love doing that to you. Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday.
Morning.
You know what I'm doing right now? I'm just checking that we are live, that I can see myself.
Check. 1, 2.
Check, 1, 2. Yep, look at that. There we
Right,
go.
there we go.
I love that this works.
So do I.
Ah,
Nothing worse than
good.
not working live.
I hope everyone's having a lovely Sunday or a Saturday evening wherever you are in the world. We've had a big weekend.
Yeah.
Our eldest son is in Japan, Osaka. So konnichiwa to any Japanese that might tune in.
Yeah.
You never know.
You know?
And so he left yesterday and flew all day and then arrived, and he's now with his host family in Japan and Osaka, and it's very different for him. He's already sent us a couple of he's excited. He's really excited, but it's very different. So it's going to be an amazing experience for him for the next 3 weeks.
Sure is. That's the point of traveling. Go and see different stuff. Get out of your comfort zone.
Exactly.
That's
well,
where it is
that's
at the
all
moment.
part of it's a bit of a segue into designing your retirement life. You see, that's what we're calling this now, because what Drew and I have been busily doing for the last 3 years, probably,
Yep.
we started actioning it,
Mhm.
is actually designing our retirement life. So not leaving it until we're at retirement. So I guess the typical age people talk about is 65, 67, which there is no age limit. But we're not leaving it till then. We're designing our retirement life way earlier down the piece. Well, not as early as some people, way earlier. And if I thought about this, honestly, I probably would have been designing my retirement life at the age of 40 and trying to retire by 45.
Yep.
Like, being realistic, in my ideal world, that would have been perfect. What about you?
The thing is that it was just an idea, and until I actually went, well, hang on, what does retirement mean? I guess that's the starting point. Is what does retirement mean to you? Like, for me, it's about not having to answer to anyone anymore. Pretty much, not having a boss is my definition of it. It's not having a boss. When do I get a time when I have the freedom of choice to spend the days doing the things I want to do?
Yeah.
And I went, well, you kind of have an idea as do you know what? It was actually when can you access your superannuation? I didn't even know. Is it 67? Is it 65?
Look at my notes.
I haven't read the notes, so I'm coming in blind today, so I don't want to get too far ahead.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, it was
but that's
like,
true.
what is it? I had this inquisitive mind about it. Well, hang on, what does that actually look like? What do we want it to look like?
Yeah. And I think that's a point today. So today we're just we're not talking so much just about like our daily experiences or whatever we're doing. We're actually going to set some goals and help you guys to set some targets. And I've actually designed a PDF sheet that at the end, in the comments, if you would like a copy of the PDF, just put PDF in the comments and I'll get a copy out to you. It's for free. It's just a guide of what we're talking about today, and it might energize you to get started on designing your retirement life. And that's what we're all about. We're about assisting people going through the processes that we've been going through. And I just want to make big clearance in here. We're not financial advisors. We're not going to get into, we're going to talk about finances as in a general thing, but we're not going to get into financial structures. There's no way that we're accountants or anything like that. And we highly, highly recommend that you all go and invest in a financial advisor. It was the best thing that we honestly did to get a really, really clear picture. And I know people sometimes freak out and say, that can cost me thousands of dollars, but I'm sort of talking about that today too. It's about time that we looked at investing back into ourselves. So I'm talking about you guys investing in yourself and getting really clear on how you can design your ultimate retirement life.
Yeah. Just want to give you the benefit of what we've done. So I feel so much more comfortable having a really clear goal and having clarity around the steps we have to take to get there. And it's just giving me security and less worry, I guess, instead of going, I don't know what that looks like, and always wondering, what does it even look like? Just spending the time to get a clear picture. And then I also I don't know whether my workings of what I think is going to work for us in our retirement are true or not. So we went and saw a financial advisor, and they were pretty close, but just having that comfort in having a team of people around you that are professionals in it, and that will give you confidence. And I kind of went, there's an expense to it, but going, we'll make that and more back from just even some tips he's given us in the short term now, what to do with our super, some insurance stuff and all that stuff. They do it as a living. So go and talk to them.
Yeah. You know. So what I wanted to do today is just jump right back to the start where you mentioned before about super, because I think a lot of people, we're very fortunate in this country, and I know in the States and the UK you have different ways of doing it, but I'm going to talk about it on what we're based on. So you guys can look it up in your own countries how it works. And I Googled this information. This is readily available, and I'm being very general in the way that I'm talking because everyone has different amounts depending on how they've worked, what they work. But basically in Australia, we get superannuation paid in, whether we're a part-time job, a full-time job, whether we're, basically anything. So once you work over a certain amount of hours, your employee is meant to put part of your wage towards your superannuation. And I think everyone, and I'm being very general when I say this too, please just realize that general comments. I think there's a lot of people out there that sit there and go, great, I've got all this super that I'm going to have, but they don't really know what that expense of living is going to be when they decide that they want to leave and want to retire. So I've got some stats here that I just wanted to read out to you because I think they're really interesting. This is general information, and you guys can all Google this as well and look it up. So
I didn't know. I had no idea how much money we had in super.
No.
Do you know?
Well, I think that's the thing is like everyone just keeps, you know, if you're in a full-time job or whatever job you're in, it just keeps sort of trickling in and you're just like, oh, that's great, that's great. And I think maybe during the P word, the pandemic, people were a little bit more aware because there were some people that did dive into it because you were allowed to access that. But remember, if you did do that for any reason, you've got to earn that money back again before you retire. So the money that you've already taken out is what you're left with to maybe retire on, and then you're looking at the pension. But anyway, I'm digressing. Let me just do this. So how does your super balance compare? So what I wanted to do is that 45 to 49 years of age, and this is men versus women. Now, unfortunately, generally, women end up earning less super overall because we're the ones that go away and have the babies and raise families and do that sort of generally. I'm just talking generally again. So we end up with less super at the end. But this is just a general and these numbers shocked me. So 45 to 49 years old, if you retired then and were going to rely on your super, a man would have about 224,000 and a woman would have about 146,000. At the age of 6, and then it goes up. But at the age of 60 to 64, which is generally, I think the suggested retirement age is 67 now. But let's look, 60 to 64, the average super balance for a man will be $322,000. So this is after you have worked since you were, say, 18, 20? So you've worked for, 45 years?
Long time.
45 years of working for someone else. And the super that you're going to get back is $322,000. And then for a woman, it's $246,000. Now, again, these are just average prices. Some people put more money into their super, some don't, all that sort of stuff. But what I'm doing is I'm trying to paint the picture of everybody, the starting point that you need to do, and you need to do this now, is you need to find out what is going on in your superannuation account, because people all think that they can fall back on their superannuation and can fall back on the pension that the government gives us. And I 100% guarantee, 100%, even if you retire at 65 to 67 years old, that amount of money by the time you retire plus your pension, and even if you own your house, is not going to be enough. Is not going to be enough to have a comfortable retirement life. And I'm just talking about an average comfortable retirement life, because we hear it all the time in the press about how the pensioners and the poor things, how they don't put the heating on, they can't afford the milk because they are relying on a pension. So it's really, really important when you are designing your retirement life, and that's why we're calling out to you now and saying, do it early. Get in there early and start looking at your superannuation, what's going on. What do you think?
I used to think, people on government pensions are poor people. About 40% of Australians are on a government pension.
Yeah.
40%.
And it's not that, and look, they are poor because they're on it, because of the choices that, things happen and life happens and that sort of stuff. But what we're trying to say, let's get in early and let's do some things that can really, really help you to design your retirement life. So that's what I sort of really wanted to leave you with, just as a sort of a bit of a test run to say, hey, you know, that's the first place you've got to start, is have a look at your super. Have a look. Go in there. It's very accessible. And there'll be a lot of people that don't even know that you may, if you've swapped jobs, you might actually have a couple of different superannuation accounts, because if you don't specify your super when you change jobs, the company that you're working for is already affiliated with a superannuation company. So there are people that could have anywhere from 2 to maybe 6 or 7 different superannuation accounts, and they don't even know about it. So you can actually pull all that money together and put it into one. And that's where someone like a financial advisor will really, really help you. But you can do this online.
It's easier than that. You can do an ATO. You can do a search on the ATO, and they'll see where your supers are, and you can consolidate it into one. Because if you've got $20,000 sitting from a job somewhere else, that's slowly going down from the fees on that one. So you want to put them all into one fund. So you want to find out whether you have different amounts of super in different funds, put them all together, and that's a way to make that work better for you, that money.
Yeah. So I guess what we're talking about today is SMART goals. So this is something, again, that I'm looking down at my notes because I want to get it right. So this is specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. That's what we're actually talking about, because when we're designing our retirement life, all of this, and it's called SMART, and you can look it up, it's all related to how we're going to get the best end result for our retirement that we actually want, no matter what age you're doing. So we might have 30-year-olds watching this and say, I want to retire by the time you're 40. That's absolutely possible, but let's paint the picture of exactly how that's going to look. And the way that we start that process is by first looking at the super that you've got at the particular moment. And then what you do is you actually reverse engineering.
I was going to say, yeah, absolutely, this super is a part of it. But I felt I started a little bit further down and went, what do I want to do in my retirement?
Well, this is where we can help. See, the reason I'm mentioning the super, the reason I'm mentioning the super is I just want people to be aware of their super. Yeah, and that's something they have to do with a financial person or by themselves.
Yeah, you got to know your numbers.
For us, being able to help you, this is the fun part that we love doing, and this is where we did, as Drew said, we started and reversed it all the way back and said, how do we want our life to look? And
then how much is that going to cost is the point. Yeah. So the one piece is how do you want to be spending your time, and exploring what your day-to-day looks like. And then the fun part for me is, okay, well, how much is that going to cost?
Yeah.
You know, so how much is that going to cost? And I actually did a spreadsheet of all the expenses and how are they going to vary to our expenses now as a family of 4.
Yeah. That's more. Yeah, that's more detailed and stuff. But I just want to keep it nice. It's just some simple little tasks for everyone to do at the moment. And we are going to go into this in a lot more depth with you guys. And we're going to show you, and Drew's going to set up that spreadsheet, and he's going to show you exactly how it can work. And we're happy to give this information to you because we really want to support people in designing their retirement life. So the other thing I put down here is, don't fear where you are right now. Yeah, because the whole thing is that the hardest thing about doing this process, about looking at what you want to design and your ultimate life, and it might be you, for example, you might decide at the age of 55, I want to fly first class around the world for the rest of my life and go to every country and visit it. Yeah. Now that could cost, I don't know, let's say $10 million. Yeah. And at the moment you're sitting here and you just looked at your super and you've got $164,000 sitting in or something. And you're like, well, that's impossible. I could never do that. Don't doubt what you can do. Yeah. Because anything is possible, but what we've got to do is just have a starting point. And that's why we love to design what we actually really want and work backwards. And don't fear where you are, because do you know what? As soon as you know where you are, you instantly have power to change that. And it empowers you. It makes you feel better.
So that's the thing. I felt resistance to looking at the numbers and knowing what that would look like, because I was scared that we were going to be short. And I didn't want to look at that. But you have to look at it, because you might be pleasantly surprised, or you might go, oh, I'm short. And you don't be scared of that. You go, okay, well, at least I know now. And that,
as 95% of people will be short.
And that empowers you to go, okay, I need to work a plan to change that outcome. Because you don't want to be finding that out when you're 67, 68 and going, oh, it's now time to kick back and go, oh, hang on, I'm short.
Yeah.
Work it out now, and then you can work a plan. And I think it's taking ownership of where you're at now, where you want to be. You know? and all that stuff.
And again, that's what we're going to be here for. This is what we're designing this for. We've got a YouTube channel that we're setting up that we're going to start in October, and it's going to have lots of information, short videos on there, just little guide things about things that we've found that have worked well for us and things that we're going to suggest to you guys that can then help you maybe design your retirement life as well. And that's what we're all about. We want people to get really excited about this and feel empowered by it and go, yeah, man, you know, I can actually have this life that I want. I want to potter around in my garden all day from the age of 60, and I want to be able to go and buy plants and, you know, do it up and make it tropical, whatever it is, you know, you can do it. So we're going to give you the tools to do that. But part of that process, and what I put down here for you, Drew, is because I think you're really good at this and you've had some inside knowledge of it, is the health and well-being part of it. So we're talking about feeling empowered. And one of the key things is actually changing your mindset. And how have you, like, we know that you've done some podcasts and things like that, but on a health basis, and the reason I'm putting it over to Drew, because he's very health orientated, just give us a couple of minutes about being healthy, about how that makes you feel, and not ultra. But you don't have to go and do ultra triathlons like he does or anything like that. But.
So I was in a Chemist Warehouse just this week. Got a toe infection. I'm cleaning up. Had to go in there, and I was blown away. I was 10 people deep in the line to get my one pill for the next month, and there were 10 people with baskets of medication whose health and well-being was, as far as I could tell,
nil,
absolutely appalling.
Well, no, it was just nil. Like they're living on the pills.
Yeah, they're living a lifestyle that is going, yeah, this is making me unhealthy, and then I'm lining up and getting my pills. And I just went, as a society, we're getting it wrong. A lot of these health issues can be solved by just embracing movement every day. That's where I start.
And again, please realize we're being very general in our comments. We do understand that medication plays a really important role, that people absolutely need some of it. But we're just saying that it seems to be that there is a lot of society now that just expects that if they eat 2 liters of ice cream a day, it's fine because there'll be a tablet that can help them live.
But beyond that, these people in the line in front of me looked miserable. They weren't energized. They're miserable. And the health and wealth part of it is I'm really active, and I want to be really active until the day I die. Until I'm like, oh, you shouldn't do as much running as you should because you'll get sore knees and da-da-da-da. There are 88-year-olds doing Ironman triathlons, and that's what I want to be doing. So there's no reason not to be healthy and full of energy and vital, you know, having a vital, energized life the whole way through. Retirement isn't sitting on a rocking chair watching Netflix to me.
To you.
To me.
It may be to someone else.
Maybe it is. Look, I like a bit of rocker chair and Netflix action once I've been out for a long bike ride. But you know, when we talk about health and well-being,
but it's all about a mental status too, like feeling empowered to be able to do this and take control of your financial situations, design your retirement life, doing all that sort of stuff. This is all integral to actually getting a really, really good result in the end. And we're not talking about you have to go on diets or anything. We're not talking about that. We're just talking about how you actually feel inside yourself.
Just look after your body, you know, just make choices that you know are going to keep you energized. You know, I was in the line and there was an ice cream fridge, and a guy reached through and went and got himself a drumstick at 10 o'clock in the morning on a Thursday. I'm like, for me, that doesn't compute, you know.
Compute. So it wasn't meant to be really a lecture.
Oh, wasn't it? Sorry, you told me to start talking about
I meant about like the health aspects of, like, if you feel healthy within inside.
Yeah.
And the way of doing that is by doing some fitness and movement. Like my mum's 82 and she goes to water aerobics 3 times a week. And she absolutely loves it. And when she comes out of that class and she comes and sees me, she's absolutely buzzing because her endorphins have got going and she's feeling really positive about herself. And, you know, and she has medications. She's at 82 and she relies on those medications to keep her healthy. But she's also doing something that keeps her mind healthy and also makes her feel good. And that's what I was really
now. I know what you want to say is like,
totally
I feel so much better once I've done my exercise in the morning.
Yeah.
It wakes me up for the day. I exercise in the morning. I'm not an evening exerciser because it just lights me up gets me going for the day.
So we're going to wrap this up, and we've got lots more to talk about. Like I haven't even got.
We haven't scratched the surface.
I know. But we're going to wrap this up because I want to keep people interested and people engaged. So what I want to do is say, Drew and I, as you can see, we're really passionate about designing people's retirement. We're helping people design their retirement life. And the life that we've designed is we love to travel, and we're creating that life to give us the freedom where we're not paying, we're not working for other bosses anymore and paying for their holidays. We're actually starting to work for ourselves and create an income that we can then use to go and do exactly what we want to do in our retirement life, which is to travel, because we love that.
Yeah.
So what I want you to do this week for a bit of homework is, one, remember I've done up that beautiful PDF form that just gives you a little bit of a kickstart and asks you some questions to get your mind clear on where you want to go. And two, I'd love for you to really, I want you to think out of the box and go, I'd love to travel, but then times it by 10, like really dive into it and go, what does that actually mean? What does that mean for me that I really want to do that? And then I want you to write that down and put it aside and go, okay, that's going to be my goal. And your goal can change because everyone's goals changes as life changes and different things happen. But I really, really want everyone to start getting excited about what they can do, whether they're 35, 45, 55, 65, 75, it doesn't matter. Just get out there and find something that lights you.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. Don't write down the big thing. No. Write down the thing that excites you.
Up. Yeah, the thing that you go, oh, I'd love to be able to do that. I want to go on roller coasters in every country in the world for the rest of my life.
I want to eat fresh raspberries every morning. Exactly. It can be small, but that excites me. Not Coles raspberries.
Well, no, I want them big picture than that.
Yeah, no, start with the stuff that lights you up.
Oh, you know what I'm saying, but I want them to then think bigger than that.
So once you start doing that, then you go, oh, but imagine if I could do that.
Cream to it.
Imagine if I could go heli skiing in Aspen.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Anyway, okay, so please put in the comments what any feedback, because we're here, we're learning, we're sharing what we're learning with you guys. Put a hashtag replay. Also put PDF in the comments if you'd like that PDF file to get you started. And we can't wait to share all of this with you and more. Drew's looking at my notes going, well, we didn't even get through.
Don't look at the notes at all.
And and we will be back next week, same time, same channel. And
oh, no, we won't. That's a lie. We're going to Sri Lanka.
No. We will be on still.
Oh, will we?
Yep. We're going to do a live
from Colombo.
Yeah, we're going to do a live from Sri Lanka. But it will just be through our phone.
Sunday's Colombo.
Yeah. So we're going to do a live from Colombo just to say hello to everyone and tell you how our trip's going and share our journey of retiring. That's designing your retirement life.
Yeah.
And this is one of the first steps for us. We're heading to Sri Lanka. Yeah. So thank you for whoever's watching. I can't see at the moment live. Put in there whether you're hashtag replay, PDF, or any comments. Or if you've got any questions as well, please feel free to ask them. And then if we can't answer them, we'll find someone who can and then give you the answers back.
Yeah.
All right.
That's good.
Thanks so much for watching. Catch you next time. Catch you from Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
Okay.